Hello people and welcome to FMSCOUT. It is RDF and in today's video we are going to be looking at Ole Gunnar Solskjær's tactic for Manchester United. We are going to try and recreate that in Football Manager and hopefully we are going to be successful. So in this video we're going to talk a little about the style of play. We're then going to try and translate that into Football Manager 2021 and then we're going to look at the results after the one season. Now I do have a more in-depth analysis of the Manchester United tactic, so if you want to read more about it, make sure you go to my website rdftactics.com. On my website there's going to be more information, more statistics for you to look at, and hopefully you just enjoy the read. But before we get any further in this video, if you are new or you haven't yet, make sure you subscribe to this channel. Some of you do not have your notifications on, so make sure you turn them on, like this video and also leave a comment. Also, if you have any recommendations of which tactic you would like to see next, you can also leave that in the comment. But for now, let's get started with the video. Now, data and statistics have become huge in football. Nowadays, this is how managers tend to select their team or even how they tweak their own tactic. So for this recreation, I have looked at plenty of data, plenty of statistics to try and work out which instruction we need for our Football Manager 2021 recreation. But at the start of the season, probably nobody would have guessed or predicted that at the end of January 2021, Manchester United would be sitting on top of the league. Ole's job was possibly made even harder with the added pressures from the fans and the media when the results were different, but it's taken a few tactical tweaks for Manchester United's form to improve. These tactical tweaks would of course depend on the opponents. Against top sides you would see Manchester United shaped in a 4-2-3-1, but that would quickly turn into a 4-4-2 when out of possession to make it more difficult for the opponents to break them down. Against Liverpool, their most recent big game, they managed to get a 0-0 draw, and previously they have drawn against the likes of Manchester City and Chelsea, all ending in the same result, which was 0-0. And these are matches that Manchester United could have easily lost before. But against the weaker sides, Manchester United tend to go for a more controlling approach to try and get the 3 points. BRUNO FERNANDES has been the star, absolutely no doubt. His goal scoring form certainly hasn't gone unnoticed, but maybe his creativity in this side doesn't receive the same amount of attention. BRUNO so far has racked up 7 assists and has an expected assist of 6.4. Only Kevin De Bruyne and Jack Grealish have a higher expected assist. BRUNO FERNANDES has also played the third most key passes in the Premier League, 54, with only one other player in the league with more than that, Jack Grealish with 61. As an advanced player on the pitch, it should be difficult to play passes into the final third as you are already positioned in the final third, but Fernandes is a player who likes to roam around. 105 passes into the final third, numbers that maybe a deep line playmaker should be getting. My praise for his creativity doesn't just stop there. For a team who like to counter, it's important to get the ball into spaces for players to run onto, and 15 through balls is the most in the Premier League, with both Fernandes and Kevin De Bruyne level on that statistic. His goal scoring record goes without saying, has been superb for a midfielder. But Fernandes hasn't been the only player to perform for Manchester United this season, as Ole seems to be getting more from his players in recent times. Luke Shaw also deserves a mention for his recent performances, as many thought Alex Telles will come in and cement his place as the main left back, but that hasn't exactly been the case in recent times. Martial and Rashford have also seen their performances improve over the last couple of games. Paul Pogba's role in midfield could be a sign that things have finally clicked for Manchester United. The shape Manchester United go for is the 4-2-3-1. Though the screenshot on the screen right now doesn't include Paul Pogba in the team, in most recent matches I have identified Paul Pogba and BRUNO FERNANDES as the playmakers in this side. They are the two players who often get a lot of touches off the ball and play the most passes in the team. That would suggest Man United use those players as focal points. Against Fulham most recently, Paul Pogba had 106 touches on the ball whilst Fernandes had 93 touches. The two fullbacks also receive a lot of touches on the ball and are important to the system as they provide Manchester United with their width. From Bruno Fernandes' heat map, we can see that he's far from stationary. This drifting and roaming is difficult for opponents to pick up, and he often operates in spaces that forces defenders to be pulled from the defensive positioning. Paul Pogba can also be seen popping up in various different positions on the pitch. Often Paul Pogba tracks the play. Where the ball goes, he's not too far distant from it. Most of his touches can be seen in the middle third and the defensive third on the pitch. Manchester United are a forward-thinking team. They like to play the ball forward and attempt risky passes in order to try and break the opposition down. In the Premier League so far, they have played the 5th most progressive passes, 744, and 199 key passes, but they are less direct on the flanks. Often when the attacking wide players receive the ball, they look to come inside with the ball rather than wide, and the fullbacks don't send in many crosses when they receive the ball out wide. In fact, Manchester United are ranked 19th with getting the crosses inside the penalty box. Luke Shaw played 100 passes against Fulham, and that's the most by any player on the pitch. Aaron Wan-Bissaka played the second most passes, 94, so this could suggest that Manchester United used their wide players in build-up play, but they worked the ball inside rather than running wider to get the crosses inside the box. Just like most top sides in Europe, Manchester United like to press high or at least have some aggression whilst pressing for the ball. So far, they have pressured their opponent 621 times in the opponent's attacking third. That is the 5th most in the league so far, and this helps them create chances on the counter-attack with their counter movement once they win the ball. Only Leicester has more defensive actions that led to a shot than Manchester United. 14 times is the amount for Ole's side. Generally, the defence line is a high one for Manchester United, but against difficult oppositions, this defence line and also line of engagement would drop to make them more of a counter-attacking side rather than try to control the game. Most of Manchester United's pressures and tackles so far have come from Wan-Bissaka and BRUNO FERNANDES. The two have been ever present for Manchester United, and that shows the importance of the two players in the current squad. But it's also very evident whoever the central midfield partnership is, both players can be seen trying to put pressure on the opponents and put tackles in to win the ball. In a nutshell, because there are so many games left to play and the fact the table is always changing, it's almost impossible at this point to say whether the numbers and style of play is good enough for Manchester United to win the title. Impossible? Absolutely not. There are things they do so well, like the ability to draw in fouls, but this could be taken advantage of as an added weapon if they improved on their set pieces. They also create a lot of shot creation actions, but at times they have not been clinical enough or do this enough against the bigger sides. And finally, with a striker like Cavani, maybe they could get more crosses into the box to become a little less predictable. Not that they are predictable at this current moment, but it maybe wouldn't hurt to try and take advantage of Cavani's physicality by getting 1 or 2 more crosses into the box per game. Now that is my very short analysis of Manchester United, but like I said, you can head over to rdftactics.com to get a more in-depth analysis of Manchester United's play. But now that is the style of play finished, we are going to look at the Football Manager 2021 recreation that I made for Manchester United. It is of course a 4-2-3-1, and we have 2 separate ones. So we have the home one or the main one. This is the one that you would choose when you are playing against all the sides maybe below you outside of the top 6, but once you play teams away against the top 6, this is what I went for. It's basically the exact same. The mentality has dropped to cautious, so of course the defensive line and the line of engagement would drop naturally, but also our passing directness has increased slightly. We've gone for a more direct approach rather than a controlling approach. But in goal we have the sweeper keeper on the defend duty. Left back we have cross less often, because like I said, they don't really get many crosses inside to the box. They are ranked 19th with crosses inside the box. So for the fullbacks we have cross less often, but they do cross from the byline. In defence we have gone for 2 central defenders, and I will tell you why. When it comes to clearances, Manchester United actually don't sit very low. They sit kind of high. They are in the top 5 or 6 if I remember correctly. So when it comes to defending, they don't exactly always look to play from the defense, which is why I went for 2 central defenders, because they mainly look for the safer option. If they need to clear the ball, then they will clear the ball. If they need to play out of the defense, then they should have the composure to play from the defense. But with the left-handed side of the defense, I try to replicate Harry Maguire's style of play a little by adding take more risks. For the double pivot, we have a deep line playmaker on the defend duty and we have a defensive midfielder on the support duty. Now, Pogba, this is where I played him. A lot of people will disagree, but again, if we do look at the heat map that will pop up right now, if we look at the heat map between Pogba and his central midfielder partnership, actually his partner is positioned slightly higher than Pogba. If Scott McTominay plays, then Scott McTominay is usually deeper than Paul Pogba, but Pogba is usually the deepest midfielder. His instruction is to take more risks, close down more and tackle harder. For his defensive midfield partner, he has the exact same instructions. On the left hand side of attack, we have the inside forward, which could be Martial. For the attacking midfielder, Bruno Fernandes, he is the advanced playmaker. I've seen many people use a shadow striker or attacking midfielder on the attack duty trying to replicate Bruno Fernandes, but Bruno Fernandes actually is involved in a lot of play. He does get a lot of touches, he does play a lot of key passes, he's involved in the play a lot basically. He is a focal point, which is why I went for the advanced playmaker on the attack duty. One negative thing is to shoot less often, but because Bruno Fernandes does have a shoot from distance player trait, that shouldn't really matter. On the right hand side for the inverted winger, we have the attack duty with the instruction of Mark Taita. Up top, we have the deep line forward. Again, I will pop up a heat map to show you some movements of Cavani in his latest matches. He kind of plays and operates as a deep line forward, not too deep, but he does like to link up play with the attacking players just behind him. His instruction is shoot less often and Mark Taita. So now for the team instructions for the main home tactic, we have the positive mentality. The attacking width is set to fairly wide. You can set it to wide to get the fullbacks involved in the game more, to get them having more touches on the ball, but once you do stretch your attacking width, then you will notice that your team is actually taking more risks on the ball. For the approach play, we have pass into space and we have play out from the defense. Now, they don't always clear the ball when they are on the ball. Like I said earlier, if they need to clear the ball, then that option is there. But generally they do look to play out from the defense to try and take control of the game. Passing directness, I have gone for shorter, and for the tempo, we have gone for the higher tempo. In the final third, we have no instructions. I could have went with work the ball into the box to try and lower the amount of crosses coming into the box, but then Manchester United aren't afraid to shoot, so I left that alone and let the players make their own decision. I also do have play for set pieces because, like I said, they do draw in a lot of fouls. That could be done by running at the defense, but they don't actually attempt the most amount of dribbles per game, so instead I went for play for set pieces. In transition, we have counter press to try and win the ball back, and we have the counter movement once the possession has been won. When the goalkeeper is in possession, we are going to look to play from the defense, so he's going to distribute it to either the fullbacks, the centre backs, and by doing that, he's going to be taking short kicks. Out of possession now, we have a higher line of engagement with just the standard defense line. We could have went for a higher defense line. I found that was just way too high. With the positive mentality, it was just way too high to what I know Manchester United to defend like in real life. And for the marking and tackling, pressing intensity is on more urgent, and we are preventing the short goalkeeper distribution. That is the Manchester United tactic. The away one against the big sides is the exact same, but the passing directness is set to standard. The attacking width has slightly dropped, again because of the mentality, and also a slight change is to take more risks. I removed that with the defensive midfielder to try and keep possession a little better and not lose the ball too often. So that is the tactic. We are now going to look at the results. So in the Premier League, Manchester United won the league. We played 38, we won 34, we drew 3 and we lost. We drew 4 and we lost 3. In the Champions League, we were the winners against Liverpool. In the final, we won 2-1. Thank you to Daniel James and Edinson Cavani. Mo Salah did score a penalty, but that didn't really matter as we went on to win the game. Now, the statistics, it looks like we did get dominated. Liverpool did have some very good chances, but when you are counter-attacking, that is expected. The opposition will have some chances, but then you will go on the counter and be clinical. So in the Champions League final, we managed to win 2-1. We got knocked out in the semi-final of the FA Cup by Reading of all teams, and in the Carabao Cup we got knocked out in the 4th round by Norwich. So in the domestic cups we just got knocked out basically by some championship teams. What is very, very impressive about this recreation, for me at least anyway, is the performance of Bruno Fernandes. Average rating for Bruno Fernandes 7.69 and his assist is on 17. Absolutely incredible. So let's look at his profile. He's played 31 games, he scored 14 goals, which is fairly decent. He's got 20 assists and an expected goals of 13. He only scored 6 penalties during the season, so most of his goals wasn't from the penalty spot, and he also got 12 player of the match awards. But these statistics all could have been very, very different if he did not get injured. He only played 31 games this campaign, and there's 38 games in the league alone. As you can see in the Premier League, he only played 27 games. So in the end, he did come second with the most player of the match awards, but again, that is likely to have increased if he did get to play more of the games in the league. So when it comes to average possession, we sit joint third with 54%. We scored the most goals in the league with the most goals per game, but we didn't have the highest expected goals for. We came in third, Liverpool and Manchester City above us. Penalties taken, we took 9 penalties all season. Manchester City are above us. For the crosses completed, I tried my hardest not to get the crosses into the box, as you could see on the tactic. For the wing backs, we have crossed less often, and for the 2 wide attacking players, we have inverted players. But these crosses also or may include set pieces. I'm not 100% sure on that yet, but for the crosses completed, we are very high. We're supposed to be very, very low. Goals from corners, we managed to score 11. Goals from direct free kicks, we managed to score 3. And goals from indirect free kicks, we managed to score 6. Set pieces was a strength for us in this game. Clear-cut chances created, we did come in second, creating 29 clear-cut chances. When it comes to defending, we were very, very solid. We only conceded 18 goals in the league with 22 clean sheets in the league. Also, if we go back, and you would notice that clean sheets, De Gea only got 13. Again, very big injury. Dean Henderson had to come in and step in. So we didn't actually have our best team for most part of the season, but we still performed very, very good. So we can go for the player statistics. Goal scorers, Anthony Martial was our top goal scorer. Rashford scored 14, Martial scored 15, Greenwood scored 14. So between the front 3, they all scored goals, they all got to double figures, so happy days. Bruno Fernandes also got 12 goals, so he was also in double figures. For the assist, Bruno Fernandes of course has the most assists in the league with 17, and with the highest assists per 90 minutes. For the key passes, Bruno Fernandes came in second behind Kevin De Bruyne, so absolutely no shame in that. 138 key passes during the season. Our left back Alex Telles also on the list with 90, so in terms of recreations, I'm very, very happy with that. The name should have been Luke Shaw, as we know Alex Telles is the better left back on Football Manager. Alex Telles also created 8 clear-cut chances. As we can see, Kevin De Bruyne had an absolute fantastic season. So now we're going to check our team report, and you can see our attacking efficiency. We were aggressive and we were clinical. Now if we check our defensive efficiency, similar. We were quiet and impenetrable, so similar in terms of we were the best in the league. When it comes to assist, most of our assists came from through balls. 22 assists came from through balls. Now the number of goals from crosses is slightly too much to have the most accurate recreation, but like I explained before, it was fairly difficult trying to get a lower number of crosses inside to the box. The players just wanted to cross the ball into the box, but we did score 10 from corners and 7 from short passes. Now when we look at the losses in the league, we lost away to Fulham 1-0. We got a 1-1 draw away to West Brom. We also drew 0-0 at home to Manchester City. We drew 1-1 at home to Arsenal. We lost 2-1 away to Manchester City, and we lost 2-1 away to Liverpool. We drew 1-1 at home to Wolves, and yeah, that was our Premier League dropped points. So the tactic is not perfect. It is a recreation. I know some people say, why do you only test with Manchester United? Well, if we are testing a recreation, it should be with that team. If we're recreating Ole Gunnar Solskjær, I'm not sure we should actually test that with Burnley or Newcastle just to satisfy people. I don't think that's really the point in these videos. But I'm off topic now. Let me get back on topic. And let's look at our squad performances. Greenwood scored 19 goals in all competitions, so he was our top goal scorer. Marcus Rashford also with 19 goals. Martial scored 17 goals with 9 assists. Rashford and Greenwood also got 5 assists, so their statistics were identical when it comes to goals and assists. Bruno Fernandes, easily the best player in this team, 14 goals, 20 assists. Cavani, 13 goals, 3 assists, and Daniel James with 7 goals and 6 assists. So Bruno Fernandes, 20 assists, Juan Mata, 10 assists, Telles, 10 assists, Martial, 9 assists, Bissaka with 8, Daniel James with 6, Van der Beek with 5, Greenwood with 5, Rashford with 5. When it comes to training also, you should be on this screen a lot. Sort out your training rating and consistently praise your players every month. I mean, this is important for morale. Praise your players for the training performances. If they're not performing well like Sergio Romero, then you would criticize the training performance. This is important when it comes to team morale, and team morale is important to keep up with the performances. That is all I've got to say on that. And that is the end of the video. Don't forget, if you want to check out more statistics, more in-depth analysis on this tactic, then head over to my website rdftactics.com. It has been a pleasure talking to you guys. Don't forget, if you are new or you haven't yet, make sure you subscribe to FMSCOUT's YouTube channel. Some of you do not have your notifications on. Naughty people. Don't forget to like, don't forget to comment. If you have any recommendations, leave those in the comments. I will see you soon. Stay safe. Peace out.